Hello friends, welcome to Akulmach Live, and today we are talking about the forecast telling. Lot of people, lot of modern humans believe in forecast telling, and there are various methods used. There are astrologers who are making a living out of forecast telling, predictions by palmistry, and there are so many other methods, including tarot cards. So tarot cards are, cards like these, very colorful cards, and they have exact depiction of what is going to come your way. So if you actually open a tarot card and you shovel them and then open them, then you will get instructions, which is right here, and based on the instruction, the tarot card reader will basically tell you what is your what is going to happen, what is your forecast, etc. And there are several cards, and therefore the amount of probability that you get in tarot card is probably more than the age of the universe also. So there are various combinations, and if you follow the probabilistic formulas, then tarot cards can be very, very specifically telling you this is what is going to happen to you tomorrow, day after tomorrow, next week, or next year. Or many times tarot card also tells you that this is not going to happen next year. So the prediction of tarot card or any other predictions can be very accurate. Can we analyze this? Can we understand this more in depth? And therefore, can we, this is one good big question that we have. Can we understand this in a much more profound and scientific manner? Because believing astrology, believing the forecast telling, soothsaying is something which is part of our civilization. How much fact is there behind it? Let's analyze this. And if I tell you that the tarot card reading can be very realistic, almost 99% accurate, would you believe me? Well, let me try and debunk. If you don't believe me, I will try to convince you that the tarot card reading can be very accurate, absolutely accurate, not 100%, but at least 99%. Why? Because tarot cards, when they are drawn from the deck, is part of the universe, and this universe follow the relativity. So let us understand the universe in order to understand the tarot card results. So let's look at the universe itself. Is that the reality that you're looking at? When we look at the universe, when we talk about universe, many people say that it's not real. And the quantum mechanics, quantum physics explains that there are particles popping out and disappearing constantly all the time, and there is no way to explain this in classical physics, at least as we know it today, as per our understanding. Therefore, the quantum mechanics is the real governing mechanism of universe, which we are still trying to understand and also imagine that how universe will be functioning like this, where the particles keep popping up and disappearing at will. There are several other things which are happening in the universe, but the whole point is that is it the reality that you're looking at? Because if the particles or the objects in the universe are disappearing, that means if you're looking at something, it may not be there the next moment. So is it something that real that you're looking at? So that is one very profound question. So how much universe we are looking at? How much reality is visible in front of us? Let's first understand that. So as per the relativity itself, the theory of relativity, which was given by Einstein, 85.8% of the past is hidden. 85.8%, almost majority of the past, our past, your past. And if there are civilization in on the next door planet also, their past is hidden from all of us. Why? Simply because there are so many challenges. First is the light has to reach us. The fastest thing in the universe is the light. Light has to reach us, and if the light does not reach us, we do not know whether that particular thing from where the light is coming exists, because the fastest thing is light. Even the thought cannot be faster than light. Gravity cannot be faster than light. Protons, electrons, nothing can travel faster than light. and light is the information. In fact, speed of light is the speed of causality. If something happens in a corner of the universe, we will not know about it until and unless we see the light telling us that something has happened there. For instance, if the sun disappears, we will not know for 8 minutes, because the light has to stop. Because the sun has disappeared, there will be no light. Sun disappears now, the light will continue to keep coming towards Earth for next 8 minutes. So, the light is very important. It has to reach us, and therefore 85.8% of the universe is located in such a place where the light does not reach us. Why? The next diagram will explain that to you. You see, the plane which is at the bottom is the observable universe. However, of the observable universe, we can only see a portion of it, which is only 14.8%. Why we call it 14.8%? Because from this part of the universe, we actually can get light. So when we look at the Big Bang, when we look at the image of the early universe, that is all part of this particular observable universe, which is supposedly only 14.2% of the entire thing that may exist there. The cone, the plane of the cone or the sides of the cone are angled at the 45 degrees. So if there is an object in this cone, the light will exist in this observable cone, and anything which is within the cone, we will be able to see clearly, and we will be able to understand however old that light is. So we say that it is 13.8 billion years. That is the time when the Big Bang happened. All that is part of this cone. Anything outside of this cone, we will not be able to see. So there may be a whole huge planet, star, galaxies outside this cone, but since they are not in our visible path or the cone of visibility, they will never be known to us. There is no mechanism that we will see them either in future or we have seen them in the past, because they are not part of this cone. So if there are objects which will go out of this cone, we will never know what was there inside this cone and that has moved out. That means as we move towards the future, more and more objects will keep getting out of this cone, into other areas of the universe, and we will never come to know that those were part of our visible universe. So this is how the universe functions. So I'm just taking geometry to help me out in understanding how universe function. However, the future light cone, because we are moving in one direction, we know that the time moves in only one direction. Time has only one direction. I mean, we do not live backwards and we do not become young as time passes. We always get old and die. Then rebirth, again grow old and die. So the time has a one-way route. That means it is always moving in one direction. So we have to look at that. That means whatever happens in future, if you look at the previous diagram, is not visible to us. So we can only speculate. Now, when we talk about tarot cards, etc., we are speculating about the future and how the speculation becomes true. That is the profound question that we want to answer. So the first point is, the cone has to have, the sides of the cone has to have 45 degrees angle. Anything which is traveling on a higher angle like 50 degrees will not reach, the light will not reach our eyesight or our line of sight, and therefore we will miss that object, and therefore it will be outside our visible cone. So cone has to be maximum 45 degrees side, and anything in that area we will be able to see, however faint it is, whether radio waves or infrared or visible light, whatever is visible in that area, we will be able to see. That means the universe is pretty big. We are only looking at this cone, which is approximately 14.2% of the actual thing. That means 85.8% is absolutely hidden, and there is absolutely no way to find out what is there in that part of the universe. That is the first physical property of the universe where we live in. Now let's go forward and understand this more in depth. So let's say there are events happening in this cone, and the in the middle where there is present time written, we are located, our earth is located, and we are at this point, and we are able to see all the events which are happening, visible events within this cone at the bottom, and anything outside of that are invisible, and anything in future from our point of view are the events which are not yet happened, which are waiting to happen. So we do not know what are those events, and therefore we go to the tarot card readers and ask them the question, what is going to happen, and we are asking about those events which will happen in the future. But from the physical standpoint, those events have not yet happened. So this is something which is the way the geometry of the universe function, and how tarot cards will tell you exactly what will happen tomorrow, because that event has not yet happened. So the next picture will explain that to you. And this is, say for example, your present time remains the present time. And if there is in your present time, there is a civilization which is in your future, that means they are casting a much bigger cone. That means your cone is within that civilization's cone. So they are able to see all the visible events which are happening in your time frame today, as well as they are able to see, because their cone is much bigger, they are able to see all the other events which have not yet happened for you or for me or for anybody in the present timeline. So all the future events are also visible to them. However, they are also limited by this cone, and they have a much bigger cone. And if there are events which are beyond their cone, the same principle applies, that they will not be able to see those invisible events. However, for them also, time is moving in one direction, and so in case there is a future civilization, they are able to see past, they are able to see their own events, and they are able to see our events also. That means whatever has happened today, they already know. For instance, if something has happened 2000 years back, we already know that, because we are the future civilization. So when we look at the past, we know that that event has already happened. So similarly, when we start looking at the space, when we look outside, we see that, okay, fine, there is a star which is like 4 light years away. So that means a star is visible to us as it was 4 years ago. That means whatever is happening there today, we will know about that after 4 years, and after 4 years we will know exactly what has happened 4 years back. So that means our present and their past is one. That means one event, but two different time frames, the past as well as future, one event, and that becomes a reality. That means if I see that their past will be visible to me as well as to them, and it will be one single event, right? That means event is one, but two different point of views of the same event. You see that? So this is a cause and effect of this feature. So if there is a future civilization, and if they are looking at us, they know exactly there are people like us, and they will be able to see all our events. And if something has happened today, that means there's no turning back. Those events will be frozen in time, and the future civilization will know exactly what events are taking place today. That means they know in future what is happening in our present, because our present is their past. That means whatever is happening today is their past, and they know exactly what is going on, right? So this is the basic concept, and therefore let's move ahead. All events are relativistic in space. Whatever is happening in space today are based on relativity. We know that already. That means one thing is linked to other. Relativity is real. The time dilation, length contraction, all of those things are real, and therefore whatever happens in this part of the universe is definitely connected to the other part of the universe, whether it is in future or in present time or in the past. So everything is relativistic. There are very complex equations which explains all of this. Therefore, everything is connected. And so if something is happening today, definitely the future events are also connected to the present events, right? Let's try to understand. Our past has shaped today for us. Whatever action we take today will shape our future. That means the past has the ability to affect the future, right? So if you see these events in future, that means those are sacrosanct, those are already frozen. No future being can change the past, because the time moves in only one direction. Lot of energy is already spent, or a lot of will is already spent. A lot of different types of energies are spent in making those events. Therefore, if something is observing the people in some other part of the universe in the past, they will not have any ability to change the past. As I said, the past has the ability to change the future. You can take decisions today that will determine your future. Similarly, the future guys will not be able to do anything about that change. We have seen different movies where you go in past and change certain things, and then that will improve your future. No, it is not possible. It cannot be done. Scientifically, it cannot be done. So what is happening with regard to forecast telling? What is happening with regard to the tarot cards? You see, what happens is when you actually shuffle the card deck and draw a card, the you moment you draw that card, the civilizations in the future will know that you have drawn a card. Let's say the future knows that there is a card like this on the table, and therefore the whole event is sacrosanct. That means it's frozen in time. The amount of card, or the quality of the card, or the feature of the card is already frozen in time, right? So the card is already drawn and it is already frozen. Remember, the future has already happened. From their point of view, the past has already happened. From your point of view, future is already determined, because you have taken some action here. So there is no past, there is no present, and there is absolutely no future. All events are foretold. All events are frozen in time. They are just happening at different time frame, but they are already determined. So if you draw a card, if there is a card lying on the table, the future is already determined. That means if you draw a card, there will be no other choice except this particular card which you have drawn at that time. There is no way universe will take any other action or deceive you or your past or your future civilizations, giving different results. Say for example, in future they know that on particular day you have drawn this card. This card is sacrosanct. It has been frozen already in time. So whatever the case may be, whenever you draw the card, only this card will come. There is no other way you will get any other card. And the best part is, on this card, what is your future? It writes very clearly. It has a narration here at the bottom, which that card reader can read out and tell you, right? So couple of things are happening here. First is, it is impossible to distinguish between past from present and from future. So whatever you are experiencing today is something which is sort of already foretold. It is foretold. It is already forecasted. It has already happened. You're just living that moment. You are just thinking that, if I take this decision, I will improve my past, present, or future. So many things like that are already foretold, predetermined, and that gives rise to new questions which we are not going to handle, which is whether there is a free will in this universe or not. But we are not handling this in this video. But it's important to understand that such a thing has happened. So if you draw a card, since the event is predetermined from the future point of view, you will always get a result which has already happened or which is about to happen. Because since there is no past, no future, no present, that means the reality is same for all three different time frames, time zones. So therefore, if you draw a card, it has the ability to tell your future. It is 99% true, accurate. And that is why I wanted to give you more balanced, scientifically understood. If you are a mathematician, you know exactly how probability function, how entropy function. All of these formula goes into explaining the relativity, and that is why when you draw a card, it will be 99% accurate. I'm not saying 100% because there is nothing called 100% accuracy in our space. Even the speed of light cannot be measured with 100% accuracy. There is uncertainty principle in the universe. Therefore, the chances are that 99% accuracy is provided by tarot card. So, friends, what do you think? Do you think there is some reality in this, or do you think this correlation between relativity, science, and occult science or pseudoscience, is it real, or you have any other thought? Please let me know. Send in your comments, and I'll be more than eager to engage with you. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you again in the next one.